Cleopatra, the famed Egyptian queen, has remained a mystery, even her ultimate resting site. Archaeologists may have unearthed a clue 1,600 years after her death to her and Mark Antony's tombs. In this video, we'll discuss the clues that are leading archaeologists closer to Cleopatra's tomb. Stay with us. Please subscribe and hit the bell button before watching today's video. Let's start today's video. Cleopatra's tomb has eluded University of Santo Domingo scholar Kathleen Martins for over 20 years. She thinks she's found something essential. Martins and her colleagues discovered a 13-meter subterranean 1305-meter tunnel, according to the Egyptian Ministry for Tourism and Antiquities. Architects call this an engineering miracle. The excavation revealed a huge religious center with 3 sanctuaries, a sacred lake, more than 1,500 objects like busts, statues, and golden pieces, and a huge collection of coins showing Alexander the Great, Queen Cleopatra, and the Ptolemies. Martins told CNN. Cleopatra's final moments. How do we know Cleopatra's fate? Plutarch, a Greek historian, was one of the first to write about Cleopatra's fall and captivity alongside her husband, Mark Antony. Antony perished on the same day as Augustus when he fell on his sword. Roman armies conquered Alexandria in Egypt. He died with Cleopatra and was buried in her tomb. Cleopatra's tomb. The most interesting find is the complex of tunnels leading to the Mediterranean Sea and sunken structures, she said. Exploring these underground buildings is the next step in her search for the lost tomb of the Egyptian queen, which began in 2005. My perseverance cannot be confused with obsession. I admire Cleopatra as a historical character. Martins claimed Roman propaganda distorted her image. She was an educated woman, probably the first one who studied formally at the museum in Alexandria, the center of culture in her time. According to Martins, who said she admires Cleopatra as a student, a mother, and a philosopher. When her husband, the Roman general Mark Antony, died in her arms in 30 BCE, Cleopatra took her own life soon after by allowing an asp to bite her, according to popular belief. The moment has been immortalized in art and literature, but more than 2 millennia later, little is known about where their remains lie. 2 mummies in Diposaurus magna may be Cleopatra's, and some are calling it an amazing discovery. Even though the tomb has been sealed for 2 millennia, the mummies were covered in gold leaf, which only the rich and powerful could afford, leading some experts to believe that these individuals may have known Cleopatra herself. What do we know about the temple? The Temple of Taposiris Magna is situated along the Mediterranean Sea Lake Mareotis route. Its origins are pharaonic. Perusa, then translated into Greek as Busiris, became Abu Sur. This name was used elsewhere in Egypt. 14 other Egyptian locations have the same name. Plutarch claims the site was named Busiris because people believed Osiris was buried there. This may explain why the temple was devoted to Isis and Osiris. Martins believes Cleopatra may have chosen to bury her husband in the temple to reflect this myth. Of all the 20 temples around Alexandria she has studied, Martins said, no other place, structure, or temple combines so many conditions as the Temple of Taposiris Magna. Was the digging successful? Zahi Hawass and his crew began searching for Cleopatra's tomb in the Tarbosaurus Magna Temple in 2005 by excavating both inside and outside the temple and finding numerous architectural components on different levels. Things were looking up on the first level. The crew identified the limestone room's parallel north wall foundations. The flooring was limestone too. They discovered a church blessing oil jar made of ceramic. They unearthed several vessels with Greek seals. They unearthed a headless king or queen statue beneath one wall. Searchers found the second floor. The stairs lead to a rectangular building with 3 different size rooms. It's also important to note that the temple had a foundation similar to a rectangular building that could have served as a chapel for the temple gods. Several rooms were discovered, and within one they found an alabaster head of a queen almost 1 meter below the Byzantine floor level. The style of the head indicated that this bust belonged to Queen Cleopatra, and the similarities between the bust and the image on the coins led everyone to this conclusion. While we're still quite far from finding the tomb, these excavations revealed significant findings, many of which provided insights into a group of experts that concluded that it is unlikely that Cleopatra was buried in the Tarbosaurus Magna, because many scholars believe she was buried in Alexandria, which is now underwater. While interest in finding her tomb is still strong, there is simply no evidence to support the belief that the tomb could be found here. Many scholars believe that Alexandria is the most likely location for Cleopatra's tomb, but the city's coastal erosion over the past 2 millennia has submerged parts of it, including Cleopatra's palace. Even if the tomb isn't underwater, there's still a high probability that it was destroyed or buried beneath modern Alexandria development, and there's always a chance that it was robbed in ancient times. Some historians believe the tomb withstood thousands of years of cultural change and environmental devastation. It would be amazing if the tomb was unreachable to people, yet earthquakes and seas may have buried it. While many searched for Cleopatra's palace, no ongoing projects are looking for her tomb underwater. Archaeologists haven't found any of the dynasty's tombs, despite ancient writers' repeated allusions to Alexander's tomb. Archaeologically, parts of the temple are submerged and devastated by earthquakes. We found the tunnel constructed. The team's new mission is to plan a series of underwater excavations that could help us determine if Cleopatra's tomb is under them. Cleopatra's tomb is valuable if it is intact. Egyptologists, classicists, archaeologists, and ancient historians solved hundreds of Egypt's difficulties. And after years of searching, Martinez feels she is getting close. The excavations so far have revealed that the temple was dedicated to Isis, which Martinez believes is another sign that the lost tomb lies nearby, as well as the tunnels below the sea. Discovery ethics. Shouldn't we let her rest now? The tomb of Cleopatra will be one of the most significant historical discoveries, but the matter is complicated, and there are diverse opinions. The excavation would shed light on her life, reign, and world. Researchers would record what individuals learned, and a huge historical monument like this may attract visitors and boost the local economy. Digging up Cleopatra's tomb raises ethical considerations about whether it's cruel to the dead, if Egyptians would approve, and what damage it may inflict. Egypt's culture may own Cleopatra's ashes. Many don't want a tomb dug up because they believe the deceased should be left alone. We must weigh the benefits and drawbacks of excavating Cleopatra's tomb to respect people's sensitivities. Examination should safeguard the tomb. Thanks for watching.